Millions of people use online classifieds every day. We hunt for cheap apartments, buy secondhand furniture, and hire local help without a second thought. The vast majority of these handshakes go off without a hitch. But probabilistically, when millions of informal transactions occur, a fraction of a percent of them are bound to cross paths with individuals whose goals have nothing to do with buying or selling. In the late 90s and early 2000s, peer-to-peer marketplaces were built on community trust. It was meant to be neighbors helping neighbors. But that system inherently requires you to lower your guard. When you agree to meet a faceless username at a specific time and place, you gamble on the assumption of mutual safety. Predators rely entirely on that assumption. Consider a musician looking to outfit his new home studio. He spots an ad offering bulk soundproofing panels at a fraction of their retail cost. The catch is the location. He has to pick them up from a desolate industrial storage facility right at dusk. He pulls his car up to Unit 402. The seller is waiting by a half-open metal rolling door. He's a massive, visibly agitated guy who refuses to make eye contact as he gruffly waves the buyer inside to inspect the goods. Stepping into the unit, the musician notices something wrong. The foam panels aren't stacked in boxes. They are already meticulously glued to every inch of the walls and ceiling. The ambient noise from the highway outside instantly drops to a dead, heavy silence. Before he can ask a question, the seller lunges past him. The metal door slams down to the concrete. A heavy latch slides into place from the outside. The unit is plunged into total darkness, and the musician hears someone else breathing in the corner of the room. He drops his phone, kicking it to activate the flashlight. In that split-second beam, he sees a second man lunging toward him. He dodges, scrambles blindly toward the front wall, and yanks the emergency chain hoist, throwing his body weight under the rising door to roll out onto the pavement. When police breached the unit hours later, the men were gone. The room was completely empty, save for 3 items left on the floor: industrial zip ties, a roll of duct tape, and a camera tripod. The ad was never about selling foam. Or take the case of a college student trying to make extra cash. She responds to a listing offering triple the normal rate for a weekend of pet sitting at a secluded property bordering a state forest. The homeowner is polite and welcoming, but as she walks through the living room, the environment contradicts his story. There are no dog beds, no chew toys, and no pet hair on the rugs. The house is entirely quiet. Feeling a sudden wave of unease, she makes an excuse to grab her charger from her car. She reaches for the front doorknob, but the lock mechanism is missing a thumb turn. It's a double-cylinder deadbolt. It requires a physical key to open, even from the inside. She turns around. The homeowner has emerged from the kitchen.
His polite smile is gone. He stares at her hand on the door and asks in a completely deadpan voice why she is trying to leave. She pulls out her phone and lies. She tells him her boyfriend is waiting at the end of the driveway, tracking her location, and he's coming to the door if she isn't outside in 30 seconds. The homeowner hesitates, slowly retrieves a key from his pocket, and unlocks the deadbolt. She reported the address immediately. Investigators found the property was a short-term rental booked under a fake identity. He had specifically sought out a house with double-cylinder locks to turn the living room into a temporary cage. Sometimes the threat bypasses the remote meetup entirely. A man living alone in a ground-floor apartment hired a worker online to assemble a massive bedroom furniture set. The worker arrived and was completely silent. For 2 hours, he methodically built the frame. At one point, the homeowner walked past the doorway and caught the worker staring directly at him through the reflection of the newly attached dresser mirror, totally motionless. The job finished, the worker was paid, and he left. That night, around 3 a.m., the homeowner went to the kitchen for water. A slight draft caught his attention. He looked closely at his front door and found a thick strip of clear packing tape carefully smoothed over the metal latch plate. The deadbolt wasn't engaged because he thought the handle lock was sufficient. The tape prevented the spring latch from ever clicking into the doorframe. From the outside, a gentle push would swing the door wide open. He immediately grabbed his keys, climbed out his bedroom window, and spent the rest of the night parked outside a police station. He broke his lease 2 days later. The most calculated predators don't force their way in through a broken window. They walk right through the front door, Disarm your home security while you sit in the next room, and leave your environment rigged to fail you when you fall asleep. In every one of these encounters, the victims were motivated by the exact same things we all are: saving a little money, finding a local job, or getting a chore done. The predators relied entirely on those mundane goals to bypass their target's natural caution. The digital marketplace itself is just a tool. The danger lies in how efficiently it strips away human context. A friendly email signature and a competitive price can completely mask a sociopath, bringing them across the threshold of your private life. If a meetup location, the layout of a room, or the tone of a stranger's voice makes you hesitate, listen to that feeling. Your brain is a highly evolved machine. When something feels off, your subconscious recognizes a pattern your logic is trying to ignore. We operate in a society where convenience is just a few keystrokes away, but the reality of physical encounters remains rigid. Nothing is truly free, and the cost of a perfect deal might be your safety. Stay vigilant,